It's Doctors Jennifer and Scott Waddell back with you to share just a brief bit of information about the trace mineral zinc and why we need it and where we get it. So zinc is one of those things that we don't need very much of it, which is why it's called a trace mineral, but it's essential, and it's essential for every function of our body. In order for our bodies to be healthy and optimized, we have to have zinc. We know it's especially important for growth and development, so that's why it's vitally important for pregnant women and nursing moms to have an adequate supply of zinc so that the baby can thrive and grow. But also as we grow throughout our lives, we need it. We know that zinc is essential for our ability to metabolize proteins and carbohydrates and fats. It's essential for the reproductive health for both sexes, even though for a long time people thought it was just for male reproductive health, but women, we need it too. And did you know that every enzymatic function in the brain and in your central nervous system relies on the presence of zinc in order to be healthy and optimally functioning?
Nice. So where do we get zinc in our diet? So we get it from foods that contain them. So we're looking at red meats, we're looking at seafood, some legumes, cheese, pumpkin seeds, and shellfish, including clams and oysters. Now, if you're not eating a diet that's rich in that, that's one of the reasons for there to be a zinc deficiency. You could either have a poor diet or you could have a vegetarian diet, and that would lead you to want to do supplementation with zinc. But we're looking at about 30% of the US population is deficient in this really important trace mineral. Another reason is chronic stress will deplete your ability to absorb zinc, and also excessive alcohol intake. Now, something else, some dangerous heavy metals like exposure to cadmium, which is found, so if somebody's a cigarette smoker, that's going to deplete zinc levels, as well as exposure to too much copper. So an example of that might be copper, drinking water through copper-lined water supply.
When we have a zinc deficiency, you can have like a low level zinc deficiency, and that will affect kind of your ability just to function at your optimal levels. It'll increase inflammation, and you'll have a loss of ability to fight things off. But when we get down to a more serious deficiency, we have body-wide effect. So we have things like anxiety and depression, we have poor concentration that can develop, chronic painful acne, a change in your ability to taste and be hungry, and a sluggish immune system, hormonal disturbances, stomach pains and gas, slow healing, and muscle loss. It's an interesting thing with how it affects the brain. I'm going to make a comment right about that. They've shown that people that have these that have the development of Alzheimer's, very often those people are elderly and they have just a lower level of zinc, and they find that when they supplement their diets with zinc, some of the cognitive changes that they've lost begin to return. That's kind of a cool thing.
So like Dr. Jennifer just said, zinc deficiency can lead to things like Alzheimer's, diabetes, and insulin resistance. Blood sugar regulation in the body is dependent on adequate zinc levels. People with eating disorders, so bulimia or anorexia, we're looking at, like I mentioned before, elevated copper levels. The ideal ratio is 15:1 zinc to copper. And if there's a deficiency, that you won't have that proper ratio. It affects vision, taste, and smell. It's vitally important for prostate health, for skin health, for sexual health, and stress will impact the body's ability to absorb adequate amount of zinc. So what is zinc's impact on your immune system, health, and function? It's vitally important. It involves virtually every aspect of your immunity. It plays a key role in antiviral activity, especially against viruses that cause the common cold. A clinical study found that using just zinc lozenges over the course of the cold's duration lowered it from 7 days to just 4 days. It stimulates the manufacture of white blood cells, one of the immune system's tumor fighting components, and it supports the activities of other immune system activities such as neutrophils, T lymphocytes, natural tumor fighter NK cells, and zinc's also required for producing thymulin, which is a major thymus hormone, and this a reduction in this thymus hormone leads to impaired immune function. So I hope that gives you just a little clue as to why it's so important to take zinc. Down in the comments below, we're going to leave all the list of the clinical articles that reference this, as well as our recommendations for what type of zinc to take. You definitely want to find one that is a zinc biglycinate. And please share this video with friends, family, co-workers, and neighbors, and stay tuned for more. Take care.
Thanks, and have a good day.